Not me, they. No, it's just that one. They were so aggressive. And had I recognised that in time, it would have meant playing differently afterwards. Oh, really? Interesting. Are you going to try and grab your free pawn?
Always remember, if your queen or your bishop is attacked by a knight, you can come back down to the apex of the diamond and you will be defending all of those attacked squares from the knight.
Yeah, I thought you were going to do that.
Doesn't matter how advanced I get, I always seem to get caught out with pawn forks at some point.
I'm going to have to go there, aren't I? You made me do that.
Check.
Son of a gun. Mind you, look at his king. What's going on there? It's not right, is it? Something very wrong there.
Opens up a line for check, and also his queen's in line with his king, which is a really stupid idea. Check.
Oh, really? What about this? Ah! What about that, Mr. Indonesia? You better give up the knight, hadn't you?
Check.
Oh, okay.
Kinside castling.
That works. That works for me.
It's a good time to quickly take stock of what's happening when you've come up with a big queen exchange, got rid of the queen. What do I have? I have a passed pawn. He has got 5 check moderately powerful pieces, and between them they could actually win my queen. I've got to make sure that I can't get back ranked. I can't get X-ray. He can't X-ray with checks and things and win pieces. We can't let him win more material. Queen has 9 points of power. His pieces are 3 to 4 points of power each. The rooks are 6. So it might actually be worth trading some of this off. Certainly blockade's a good idea as well at this point. If I blockade and he tries to use the bishop to break through the blockade, that's fine. I'd rather get rid of his bishop than have a spare rook of my own, and so on. You've got to think, what's it worth? I can't win this quantum. Obviously, it would be nice if my bishop were on e3, but it's not. Something's going to have to give here. The a-pawn is on prise, but it might be a bad idea to take that because it'll open up a line for his rooks.
Check.
As you see, I made the decision that every piece I can take off of his arsenal is going to be good in a way, because he can't then outnumber my queen, and he can't barrage my queen and win her that way. She can fight more easily against fewer opponents. And not to ignore the fact that I've got a lot of passed pawns sitting here now, potentially.
Where are you going to go?
One thing to learn when you're... Grab your teddy, of course, but another thing to always remember is try always, if it's queen versus rooks, to try not to let his rooks get connected. Try to throw things in between them so they're not... Even his own pawn there. Make sure there are obstacles so that his rooks can't connect with each other. So it's good that they're in an L shape here, that they're not in line with each other,
Check.
his rooks. We want them to be disconnected from each other. They're strong when they're connected to each other.
Check.
You knew it was coming.
Blunder.
Check.
Bishop go. Blunder. Still. I think I'm still in with a chance because his rooks are still separated by his own pawn.
Check.
What I must not do is let my king fall in line with my queen.
Check.
He could win my queen. Now at this stage you should seriously consider trading your queen for both rooks, because there's a passed pawn there, and that's going to queen again if I get my king in front of it or along the side of it. Remember, that's potentially a new queen.
Check. Check. Check.
It's harder than you think to checkmate a king with two
Check.
rooks when they're that close to him and they're in line.
I really don't know how you do these things of winning the queen. I just know that it can be done.
Check.
However, what I have here, he should never have given me.
Check.
I think he had ways of winning the queen there.
Check. Check. check,
That's funny.
check, 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 check,
Let's put it back. No, it's not forced. It's not forced. Well,
check,
I take you with check. I mean,
Looks powerful, but it's not. It's a bad calculation.
you can't capture my queen.
Just a bad calculation.
kinside castling,
I expect a ferocious attack by way of return match, especially from the speed of his opening, and so I am going for a very highly defensive, very well structured, solid defence here.
I like this. I think I'm actually doing a half decent job for once. I was going to go there because I saw weak squares. Mind you, I can still grab that. Theoretically, if I push there, I've got that square covered many ways. But I'm just going to go with the knight for now, I think. Okay, to control a knight. I'll just have to go there. Queen should be on the
kinside castling,
square that the king was on, really, but never mind. Never mind.
I am a master of positional play, and that's really what I need to be using here, is my strength as a positional player.
I don't want to get drawn with that. I'd rather maybe take his knight like this. It's like I'm going to have to take that. I don't want him to get my knight, my rook. take your knight. Could attack his queen, but I don't really want to. Just going to have to move up a bit. Ah, see, you've done it like that. Aren't you a clever boy?
Yes, he's outmastered me. Getting that rook in line with the queen, that was something that I should have spotted.
Yeah. Okay, so you win a knight. I will slow clap you.
The only wild card I've remotely got is knight to b5, just threatening his queen. That's about all I've got right
Okay,
now.
let's blockade. He's going to win the knight. I should have taken it with the pawn. I had it.
Didn't grab my teddy. Too many quantums going on at once here. It's a very confusing
Oh, well, I will.
moment.
I'll take it.
Thank God. His bishop is still locked out at least.
Yes, with the pawn, with the pawn.
Might not be immediately obvious why I had to take with the pawn there, but it was so that the queen could
Oh, I don't think we should have
continue
done
to be
that.
the blockading piece there on the dark square, which can only be shifted by the other queen, thank God. Or a rook if it gets down to the 7th rank, but we're talking way in the future there. I think that pawn move of his was a mistake. I think now he's getting cocky. His king is starting to get exposed. In quite a bad way, I should say.
Check.
It's a straight sack. I've got to go for the kill now. I have to. It's my last chance.
It's a bit desperate.
Check.
Like, I'm really going to let you run that pawn home. You should have set the. You should have set things up better for doing that.
Check. 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 Check.
I better get my king to safety.
Promotion to queen. Check. Check.
Boring. Oh, I'll get a rematch though.
check,
I like to surprise my opponents after I've lost with a really aggressive game, and
check,
this is basically the Italian game with
Reverse
the bishop
Italian.
sack, which would be the light coloured bishop sack if you were playing as white. It's a very powerful opening. I win many games as white with this. Fancied my chances playing it as black. Again, normally I'd castle, but this is a much more aggressive variant I'm playing now. Just having a lot of fun.
Just running scared.
People can't believe I'm playing this kind of stuff after they've seen my really methodical positional game.
kinside castling,
And that's the psychological side of the chess. The
Really?
shock value of not playing as your opponent expected you to play. Well, he got me with that one. I didn't see that coming. But he's not out of danger yet. He is not out of the woods yet by a very long chalk. Doing the same thing back to him, revealing a bishop attack on his queen. Does he see it when I do it to him? He does.
Where's your
not.
expertise now?
And I'd
Mr.
urge you to go
Expert.
back and look at that little exchange that happened before there, because it made my story straight. It's like I always call it getting my story straight. You've got to make good reasons for why you're revealing that bishop that have nothing to do with revealing that bishop. And that recapture and that exchange, making that exchange, that was my pretend story for why I was captured doing that, revealing that bishop.
That family fork will do you no
Now
good.
we really are. It's checkmate. Or lose the knight. You take your pick, mate.
checkmate,
See what happens. Gonna get the same thing in reverse now if you're not careful.
Indeed, it's the Italian game the other way round. Well, we're now 2 games to me, 1 game to him.
Right, I need to get pawns
And
ahead.
I wouldn't normally give someone
Clearly.
a 4th chance, but with these kind of small pawn moves of his, he's giving me a very big head start in development. And since I've already got that as being playing a white, I'm going to make the most of it. That's why I was getting all those pieces out really
kinside
quick.
castling,
Just want to make the most of this head start he's given me in development. And we're going to get lots of defence over on the king's side because I expect a powerful attack now. He's just lost 2 games in a row. I need every piece.
Bishop.
I need to get everyone over to the king's side to protect. And these bishops are lovely like this. I love to have my bishops stacked one atop the other, just as I love to have my knights stacked one beside the other. It's just my taste. I just like the way they work.
Let's take it. Let's get rid of it.
Oh no, I hear you all saying that's your good bishop. Well, yeah, it's my good bishop, but it's the other one's actually a structural bishop. And in fact, that knight, he's coming onto my half of the board. We can't allow that. Stacking the knights now like the bishops. Normally I would have put that onto the g3 square, but I just wanted to be a little bit more aggressive here. I could see a really nice little fork there coming here if we do an exchange of pawns.
check,
If we don't do an exchange of pawns, well, we don't. Never expect the offered piece to be taken. And the other reason I took the knight on that square is because otherwise I could have later opened myself up to a pawn fork with my bishop and knight there. You can see. You can see me lighting up the squares for the knight there because there's such a beautiful square ready for the knight there on e5, but let's prepare it first. Prepare it for him first.
The queen's a white bishop. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get caught out by that, for heaven's sakes. That's just silly.
Check.
So you're saying, oh, why didn't you do the knight fork, Aaron? Well, obvious, because his knight would then take the knight. If his knight takes the bishop, then I am doing the knight fork. So that's the only way. And now I can also
I think I
try and
actually
oust
just
his
want to
knight
put
with
that
pawn
back where it
move at
was,
some point, and then he can't even get anywhere near that
so
square
that my
later.
knight can still cover these other
So this
squares.
is all looking beautiful. And this bishop can just move onto these pawns gorgeously now.
We'll get some nasty fork in a minute.
This is called a
We will.
bad bishop in chess, believe it
Okay.
or not. But it's
Oh,
not, is it? It's not a bad bishop
different
in
knight
any
squares.
universe.
No. Queen. Queen up. Queen can blockade.
By blockading his isolated pawn, I'm preventing his light bishop from attacking my knight there, and my king potentially. So the queen's having to be used as a blockade. I'd rather she were on a light-coloured square. It's good to have your queen on the opposing colour of the bishop. If you've got one bishop, you make your queen into the opposite bishop, kind of.
That's an interesting move.
But this will have to do for now.
I wasn't expecting that. I'll just go back one square.
See again, because I'm slightly fixated on getting the queen onto the opposite colour from my one bishop. Perhaps I should have moved back 2 squares to cover the weak pawn I've got on b2. I don't know. Not sure. And when this kind of opponent runs out of ideas, they tend to advance pawns, so perhaps I should have pushed both those pawns, the f and the h pawn, 2 squares. I don't know. Getting ready here for the reveal on my queen. We don't want that. So now this is a good square for the queen, because it's covering that weak pawn, and it's still staying on the light-coloured square, so I think that's okay. I think that's quite good.
Check.
Possibly
It
initiate
gave
some
me
attacks on his
exactly what I was hoping for there.
And he moved the wrong pawn there and gave my queen access to his palace, and this was lethal.
Double check. There'll be some pretty nasty stuff coming.
Checkmate.
Got my bishop and my queen managed to flip round and swap places. My original idea was actually to get the bishop up into that corner somehow, which kind of never works really. So I'm pleased about that, because this player thrashed me the first time with brute force, and I think I got him back. I think I've redeemed myself by getting him back twice with subtlety.